So today's topic is stick to the plan. Stick to the plan. You may be seated in the presence of the Lord. Stick to the plan. A wonderful change has come over me. A wonderful change has come over me. Will you help me sing that? A wonderful, say, a wonderful has come over me. Come on, just join and say that. A wonderful change, a wonderful change has come over me, has come over me. Oh, he changed my life complete. And now I sit at his feet to do what must be done. I'll work and work until he comes. A wonderful change, wonderful change has come over me, has come over. Say it again, wonderful change has come over me, has come over. All right. All right, thank you. Stick to the plan is what we're going to minister from today. We've been in this series called No Shortcuts. And we've been on a journey, and this journey, the reason that we started this year off, my hardest series, I want y'all to know, my hardest series of any year is the very first series of the year. And the reason that it's the hardest series is because it's the majority of the time the only season that people actually want to do something different.
All right.
So I have to be careful how I start this year, because it is that window of time that people are on the weight plan, or it's that window of time that people get gym membership. It is that window of time that people allow people to have relationships with you one more time before they cut you off. It's that window of time that I have to really seek the Lord on how do we position and posture ourselves to be what God would have for us to be this year. And the word that kept resounding, word that kept coming to me over and over again, is that there are no shortcuts. All of us are oftentimes always looking for the quickest way out. We have a generation now that has no true relationship with ovens. Generation that is not really used to crock pots, and or some people don't even know, they might partake in cookouts but don't know how to actually season the food that goes on a cookout, and what it takes and the cleaning that it takes. Some people love to eat fish, but they know nothing about going to fish and what time you actually go fishing. You don't go fishing at 12 o'clock in the afternoon because it's too late, because the water's too hot. You have to get up before the sun goes out. But a lot of people don't know anything about that. You know about Long John Silver's and Captain D's and all that stuff, and that's what you call fish. And those people in Mississippi, you would offend them by giving them Captain D's or Long John Silver's. They ain't no real fish. And they would feel offended if you brought some Kentucky whitings to Mississippi, because they're like, we don't eat that. We eat that dirty stuff called catfish. It's what we eat. And give me some hot sauce to make it. I don't try to make anybody hungry on a fast, but I'm just saying, some people don't have a relationship with waiting. We have a generation who's thirsty and hungry. And that thirst and that hunger is not accompanied with waiting and patience. We have Instagram ready. Snapchat. We have everything, Facebook Live. Everything is accessible. You don't have to go anywhere. For those people who chose not to come out today because of the weather, because their driveway had ice on it, not the road, but their driveway had ice on it, and they couldn't get out, they don't have to feel bad because they get to push a button and live stream. Because we don't have that worth ethic, or that I'm going to actually go out and get it. We have people who want to be famous based on a clip that they posted on Instagram, or want to be famous on some runs that they learned from somebody that you don't know, and they posted it, and they're now famous without the work, without the hardship, without hearing someone tell them, no, you're not good. Yes. I'll never forget on Kentucky State University, 400 East Main, Frankfort, Kentucky, 40601. I'll never forget when I was a freshman, and I came from the great hills of Nicholasville, Kentucky, and I remember striving down there because I was a local celebrity in Nicholasville. When I did concerts, they would pack out the place. Even though the church was small, it didn't matter. It was still packed. But I remember doing that, and I went down there. I used to wear red suits and Nehru, don't laugh. I wore red suits and Nehru collars, and I used to wear a bowl cut and all that stuff, and don't laugh, it's my stories, I'm telling. And I remember I would dress and I would do all this stuff. I wore white suits, thought I was a black Benny Hinn. I remember all that stuff, and I would direct and do these concerts, and there are videos to prove it, but you'll never see it or I'll kill you. And I remember all that stuff. I remember directing the choir full of 40 and above, and for whatever reason they thought I was great. So I went to Kentucky State University, the HBCU of this state. I remember going there thinking that I was the wonder, and they were waiting on me to arrive on the campus. I got there because I had graduated with a class of about 300 in my class of East Jessamine High School, 1998, the class of 98. And I remember graduating, and I remember there was about class of 300, and there was only about 3 of us. And by us, those of you who have to know what I mean by us, people who look like me, of the darker hue. I am the darker brother. There was only 3 of us, and I remember not being many of us. And so that was my background. I was raised in a very diverse crowd, which is why I'm able to do diverse things. I was raised, a lot of my friends were both sides, so I was around both. And so when I went to Kentucky State, even though it was 40 minutes away from my house, when I got on campus and it was a lot of us, I remember having an experience like on Color Purple. She was like, there's so many of them. What it's gonna do? I had never seen people from Detroit before. I had never seen people from Chicago, Chi-Town. I had never seen people from the Windy City of Chicago. I'd never seen people from West Virginia, and people from Nashville, Tennessee, and all of us were black together. I had never experienced it, and I was nervous, running for my life, going to my dorm room, grabbing my body like somebody was going to take it. I was nervous. Mama was pulling off a McCullen parking lot. There was McCullen Hall was the first dorm I stayed in, and I went. She was driving. I was like, "Don't leave." I've never been around all these people before, So I went there, and I thought that I was so great. Got there, it's before YouTube. This is before cell phones. Those of you who don't know anything about that life, you've never experienced a life without cell phones. You don't even know what would happen if your parents could not pay the bill for your cell phone. You don't know anything about that life. But I had no cell phone. We had answering machines back then. And I remember going there, and I had my first roommate who only lasted the first semester because he didn't come back the next semester. So I had a suite the next semester. It wasn't a suite, it was just 2 beds. But it was my room. I made it a suite. And I remember being there, and we had our first talent show. And, I'm a Nicholasville great, so of course, I knew they were going to love me. So I went up there and I sang a gospel song. And I got booed. What you said? They booed me. Me, the Nicholasville great. They booed me. They said, "Who are you? You country, who are you from?" And somebody outdid me. And it was the first time I realized that there's always somebody better than you. But in this generation, in this time where everybody thinks that you are your own, it's good for you to believe in yourself, but no one had ever challenged me before. So I came there thinking that I was the best until I got on a playing field around people who came from Detroit, which was the music city. Came from Chicago, which was a gospel place, so I couldn't come singing my Nicholasville hymns. Like, we already heard it and we already done it. So I said all that to say that everyone many times now doesn't know what it means to actually work on yourself and develop yourself, because everybody's always told you how great you are. You need, hear me, you need someone in your life who is not impressed by you. You need someone in your life and says, girl, you need deodorant today. I know you don't smell yourself, but sister, the cloud that's following you is not of glory. You need people in your life who are able to tell you the truth about yourself, and instead of people, just because we have people who like us and follow us according to social status, many of those people are just doing nothing but scrolling. They have no relationship with you. And it's very important. That's why we have pastors, and that's why we have local assemblies and churches, because a lot of us would like to be pastored via social by people who don't know you. And we many times only view people we like anyway. We like how they make us feel. So according to how they make us feel, we follow them and we like them until they challenge us. And then when they challenge us, we go in the opposite direction. But someone say, stick to the plan. Say it again, stick to the plan. You do not say, I want to be beach ready. I want to have a certain particular body and get a trainer. And when your trainer tells you what you don't need to eat, you don't get mad at the trainer. Because you had a certain goal that you wanted, and according to the certain goal you wanted, there are certain things that you're going to have to put away. I see people adjusting in their seats right now. I don't know if I'm hitting a certain area, because people are just like, Lord. So I don't know if there's something going on with you, but there are some people who you want a trainer who does what you tell them to do. Yes. But you don't pay trainers to do what you want them to do. You have to do because they've already been where you're trying to go. So here it is that for many of us, there's a word called endurance. And before you go the distance in your life, before you start to run, before you start to do anything, for those of you who are fasting, for those of you who are praying, for those of you who had the fasting contract, the reason that we gave you that is because you have to determine before you start your race how far you're planning to go or what you're planning to do. And there are many people that you wait until the fight to try to decide how you're going to respond. You have to prepare before the fight what you're going to do. Come here, Rocky. Rocky was pulling different things. Y'all know Rocky. Some of y'all age, maybe y'all know Creed. I don't know. But Rocky was always pulling. He was pulling trucks and he was pulling weights and doing all these different things because he was trying to prepare for his opponent. Many of you wait until you get into the ring, then you put on the gloves, and then it's a TKO in the first 30 seconds because you never had a trainer to prepare you for the opponent that you're trying to fight. And if you're really going to win this fight, you need to really don't put on gloves because it looks good. You need to be qualified to get in the ring first, and then you'll put on the gloves. You don't put on the gloves because it looks good. You don't get in a fight because you saw somebody else doing it and it looks cool. This is not a game. The weapons of our warfare are not carnal. These weapons that you're dealing with, these things that you're struggling with in your mind are not fleshly. These things are of principalities, and I know many people don't talk about spiritual warfare, but you're fighting against things that are bigger than you. You're fighting and coming against things that are generational. You're coming against things that don't want to let you go, things that don't want you to be free, things that they don't want your attitude to change. They don't want you to get your life together. They don't want your character. It's called demonic forces and demonic wickedness, and you don't think it's real, but I'm telling you, there's something that is coming after your soul. John 10:10 says, for the thief comes to steal and to kill and to destroy. You want to date the devil, but the devil is trying to kill you. It's after your soul. I won't let you commit suicide on this watch. I won't let you give up on this watch. If you got to slide your way to church, I came to remind you that greater is he that is in you than the devil that's trying to destroy you. This is a fight we're in. Someone say it's a fight. I'm fighting for my life every single day. Every time I get up, something's trying to pull me back. Every time I try to praise, there's a devil trying to prey on my life and on my sanity and on my praise and on my character and on my identity. I'm in warfare every day. The evil that I try not to do is what I'm struggling with every single day. Oh, great man am I. I'm warring every day. Who can deliver me from this thing? But thanks be to God who causes me the ability to triumph. You need a trainer if you're going to fight this thing. You need somebody who's overcome what you're struggling with. If you got mental issues, you need somebody who's already stepped out of the mental issues to help you. You don't need somebody who's struggling with the same thing you're struggling with. I need somebody who's endured it, who's overcome it, not somebody who's playing games with it. I'm not an experiment. I'm not your little rat. I'm not your little rodent that you just try things out on me. I don't need a Ferris wheel. I'm not a hamster. I don't want to keep running in circles. I'm trying to get somewhere in 2018. I can't have another repeat of 2017 because the things I struggled with just 5 months ago would have taken me out if I keep staying there. I need a trainer. I need somebody who can show me how to endure, because I've never seen an oven, so I need Big Mama to show me how to cook. I've never seen a crock pot, so I need somebody to show me how things are supposed to simmer. Miss Joanne, I don't know anything about sewing. All I know is replacing clothes. When my button falls off, all I do is buy another thing. I need somebody to show me how to save money and buy a button and sew it back on. I've never done it. I need somebody to help me who's already been there before. Look at somebody and say, I need you, I need you, I need you. Yes, sir. Hey. This year, I can't go through another year by myself. Can't go through another year trying to fight this thing on my own, because it didn't get me too far. I didn't get far by myself. I need somebody that can help me endure. So Hebrews, the 10th chapter, verse 36 says, for you have need of endurance, so that when you have done the will of God, you may receive what is promised. Sometimes you have to put your flesh on hold. And say, God, I'm seeking you. I feel the power of God. Sometimes you have to put your flesh and say, wait a minute. Wait a minute. You need to sit down for a second. I need to see what God says on this matter. I need flesh. You take a seat for a second. Flesh, you get on airplane mode right now. You can't call me right now. You can't connect with me, because I need to know what God wants me to do. Everybody celebrates the Olympics because people have the medals, but you don't celebrate the things that they have to go through, the things they can't eat, the people they can't talk to, the people they have to step away from. They can't go out on circle. They can't go out on dates because they say I'm training. They can't go down on social drinks, and they can't do all types of things because they say I'm training. And there are some people that they keep throwing you off of what God is trying to train you for and what God's trying to develop for you. But you need to make a social post and say, I can't talk right now. I'm in training. I can't go out on a lot of dates right now. I'm in training. We celebrate the people once they get a wreath on their head, and we say, oh, look at them. They're my new star. But you don't want to go through what they did. You have in need of endurance. You have need to know how to last. Because when things happen to a lot of us, we want to give up. Because I can't go any further. But you have need of endurance. Look at somebody and say, we need tough skin this year. You need tough skin, meaning you need to be able to have this type of skin that things repel off of you. Yeah. That when darts come and when lies come and death comes and in situations that you couldn't control come, it repels off of you. It hurts you, but it repels off of you because you're so focused on what God has designed for your life that you have to remind yourself, I'm in training. I'm in training. There's somewhere I need to be. There's somewhere I've got to be. Who am I preaching to? There's somewhere that I see. That's what Martin Luther King said. He said, my eyes have seen something. I know y'all don't see it. All y'all see is fire hoses, and all y'all see is dogs, and all y'all see is racism. But my eyes have seen that my children will join hands with black men and with white men. And I don't know if I'm going to see it, but I've already got a glimpse of it. And you've got to have a glimpse of better in your life. You got to have something in your life that's worth fighting for. You have need of endurance. And here it is that this particular scripture is all taking me to where I'm going. These children, Daniel and Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, all of them were teenagers. We glorify them as if they were adults, but they were teenagers. They were young. And I want to give a word for many of you all who are young. When I say young, I'm not just talking about teenagers, but Ecclesiastes, the 2nd chapter, verse 12 says, 12th chapter, verse 1 says, remember also your Creator in the days of your youth. Here it says, before the evil days come. Meaning, you've got to have a plan before you get tempted. You can't wait until it's steamy and then say, God, get me out of it. You got to have a plan of action that when you see that person going in a certain direction, you can identify it and say, I know where you're going and I'm not. You have to have in your mind and in your plan. That's why every building is supposed to have exit signs. For in the event of an emergency, in the event that something happens, you got to know how to get out. And you've got to, hallelujah, while you're praising and while you're shouting and while you're running around the church, my question is, do you have an exit plan? Do you have an exit strategy? I know you want to be rich. I know you want to be wealthy, but do you have an exit plan out of debt yet? While you're going to Miami to go look at the houses of the rich and famous, have you got a plan to get in the first homeowners buyers program yet? What is your credit score? All right. Hush. Because we perpetrate, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to be great. They don't want me to be great. It's not that nobody wants you to be great. They want you to get your life. Get a business plan. Get a resume. Get a job. If you don't have a job, open a business. I don't have no skills. Do you cook? No. Do you do nails? Do nails. They don't know. Just put your initials on the bottom and say, I did it. They ain't all they will be, but I'm starting somewhere. Everybody's got a small business before they get a large business. Do what you got to do until you get where you're trying to go. You can't keep sitting around. I'm trying to help you. You cannot keep sitting around dreaming about what you're not working on. I said more. What I just said would help you for the next 6 months. While everybody's sitting there dreaming, you need to be working and dreaming. Martin Luther King didn't just say, I have a dream after he wasn't working. He was already walking through the streets, already doing nonviolent protests and all these different things, and dreaming while he was being persecuted, dreaming while he was being fought, dreaming while he was being plotted for assassination. But he kept dreaming until they killed him. Look at somebody and say, keep dreaming until. But put some work to it. Tired of people sitting around sucking up stuff and not doing nothing. You don't miss air until you have to pay for it. So they wanted these men, they wanted these children. So Nebuchadnezzar in this chapter, that was introduction, excuse me. So Nebuchadnezzar had these children, these teenagers, and he had captured all of the Jewish people. captured them and placed them in captivity and put them in captivity. And while they were there, they were not able to be physically what they actually were trained to be. The Jewish people were God's set people, but they could not operate as God's set people. They could think about being it, but they couldn't become it because their physical attributes were limited. They could think about who they were, but they couldn't be who they were because they were in captivity. And a lot of people are just like that. I'm thinking about being great, but I can't be because I'm in limited circumstances and limited situations. And I want to set you free today by the word. So it says that while they were in captivity, Nebuchadnezzar sent out a decree. He said, I know these people that you have in captivity, I heard that they're royal people. I heard that they are pristine people, and I want some of the younger people, because I want the younger people, because if I get the younger people, they've been trained. They're still young, and they're able to do things that their parents might not be able to do for a long, extended period of time. So I want their young people. I want their children. So I want you to send them to me, and the qualifications of the people that he wanted, they're not on there, but I have them on notes. The people who he wanted, they had to be young. They had to be children of royalty. They had to have good maintenance. They needed to be educated in a system. They had to have established poise in front of the king. So he wanted these people, and when he wanted these people, he said they're in captivity, but I want these type of people. I said that to say that I want you not to be ignorant, to not think that the enemy's not having a conversation about you. Yes, right. You think that the fiery darts and different things that are coming against you are just some strange phenomenon, some strange thing that's coming upon you. But you know that there are certain things and there are certain qualifications for the people that the enemy comes after. If you, my brother or my sister, are not being attacked by the enemy, possibly you're in his posse. You're a part of his army that attacks others. Because the enemy is looking for a certain type of people. How do I know this? That when the sons of God were in heaven, God was in there and he looked and he said, Satan, what are you doing among us? He said, I'm just looking. Just looking for somebody who has a heart for you. Hallelujah. I'm just looking for somebody who looks the part. And I can't find anybody. And God responded. He said, oh, since you're looking, have you considered my servant Job? Oh, he's perfect. Oh, he's somebody who has never turned to evil. He's somebody who really loves me. He said, I would go after him, but I'm afraid you have a hedge around him. And I believe the hedge. I'm preaching in this place. He said, I feel like the hedge that you have around him is the only reason that he's praising you, and the only reason that he's serving you, and the only reason that he's honoring you. He said, that hedge is the only reason I can't touch him. And God said, well, perhaps I remove the hedge from around him and I allow you to test him. He said, I believe that if you test him, he'll still love me. He'll still serve me. He said, you can test him, but you can't kill him. He said, you can test him, but you can't kill him. Look at somebody and say, I'm tested, but I ain't dead. Look at somebody and say, I've been tested, but I ain't dead. I'm going through all types of things. I'm going through all different types of things that are trying to destroy me. But it's only because God removed the hedge and he allowed the attack so he could find out that I still love him. Though he slay me, I still trust him. Though I go through all types of hardship, why y'all preaching me like this? Though I go through all different types of darts, I still trust him. Somebody lift your hands and say, I still trust you. It's difficult, but I trust you. I don't understand, but I trust you. I don't know the next move, but I trust you. I can't see my right hand from my left hand, but I trust you. I don't even know how to put my words together, but I trust you. I don't even know how to pray, but I trust you. I'm not dead. I trust you. Remove the hedge and I'll still have a relationship. Remove friends and I'll still trust him. Lay me off my job, I'll still trust him. I might be in between seasons, but in the meantime, I'm still going to praise him until he gives me another one. I'm going to praise him in between. Give me a lump in my breast and I'll still say he's a healer. Lay me off my job, I'll still say he's a provider. Let my mama die, let my daddy die, and I'll say when my father and my mother forsake me, the Lord will lift me up. You say I'm weak, but I say when I'm weak, there I am strong. So I glory in my weaknesses, so that when I'm weak, his strength is made perfect. Somebody say I ain't dead yet. Still trust him. He said, find me somebody. Find me somebody. Find me somebody that ain't weak. Find me somebody who ain't playing church. Find me somebody who's speaking in tongues but they can't get a job. Find me somebody who's doing a 21-day fast and they push their plate aside because they love me. Find me somebody who's confused but still trusting me. Find me somebody who ain't got no friends but they love me. Find me somebody who's really desperate for me. Look at somebody and say, I'm the one. I'm the one. I'm the one he's looking for. I'm the one he's looking for. I'm the one who had leprosy. I'm the one who was sick, but I turned around to tell him thank you. Thank you for choosing me. I've been crushed, but I have not been forsaken. Cast down, but not destroyed. Tell somebody I ain't dead yet. He's just testing me. He's just testing me. He's trying to see what's in me. He's just testing me. Nautica, one thing you got to learn about making cake is that when you drink it out of the oven, you got to stick a toothpick in it because you got to see if it's done yet. And some people like to eat doughy stuff, but I don't like doughy stuff. I like done stuff because, Claudia, when I get to see Jesus, I want him to say, well done. Not well doughy. I ain't no Pillsbury doughboy. I want him to say, well done, good and faithful servant. You've been faithful over a few things. Look at somebody and say, I want him to say, well done. Hey. I came out on a cold day to tell somebody you got to stay in the oven a little bit longer. You got to endure the heat a little bit longer. Hey. Oh, my. I feel Jesus. Somebody give God a praise real quick. Thank you for choosing me. 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 I know y'all don't want to praise like that because you want to think about what you've been going through. But it is good for me that I was afflicted, because had I not been afflicted, I wouldn't have known the goodness of the Lord. Had I not been afflicted, I wouldn't have the praise I have. Had I not had loss, I wouldn't know who God is. Had I never had a problem, I wouldn't know that God could solve them. I wouldn't know what faith in his word could do. I ain't dead yet. He just removed the hedge of protection so that I could find out who he was. Come on, Mama Judy. I will trust in the Lord until I die. I will stay on my bended knees until I die. I will stay on the battlefield until I die, because I promise the Lord that I will serve him until I die. Do I have any soldiers in the room? Pick up your sword. Pick up your sword and said, I ain't dead yet. Ah, Lord. Trust in Jesus. Trust in Jesus. Trust in Jesus. I'm trying to get on to my message, but trust in Jesus. Trust in Jesus. High five 7 people and say, I gotta trust him. He knows what's best for me. He knows what's best for me. I ain't trying to quote a lot of songs, but I've had some good days and I've had some bad days. I've had some sleepless nights and I've had some weary days. But when I look around and I think things over, all of my good days outweigh my bad days, and I won't complain. Sometimes the clouds hang low, so low I can see the road. I've asked the question, Lord, why, oh why so much pain? But he told me that he knows what's best for me, even though my weary eyes, they cannot see. So I rose this day to tell him, thank you, Lord. I won't complain. Why can't I complain? Because God has been good to me. Better to me than you'll ever be. I won't complain. I won't complain. I won't. I won't complain. Hey, 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 hey. It's so sweet to trust in Jesus, just to take him at his word, just to rest upon his promise, just to know, thus saith the Lord. Jesus, how I trust you, how I trust you, how I trust you. Hey, 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 hey. Come on, clap your hands. How I trust you, how I trust you, how I trust you. There's a reason for it all. There's a reason for it all. Somebody say there's a reason for it. There's a reason for it. There's a reason. There's a reason. He chose me. He chose me. He chose me. Just tell somebody, I'm so glad he chose me. My father-in-law preached a sermon one time, and he said, I've been picked on. I've been picked out to be picked on. Look at somebody and say, I've been picked out to be picked on. If something is picking on you, it's because you've been chosen. If something is going on in your life right now, it's because you've been chosen. Thank God for the storm. Thank God for the test. Thank God for the things that are picking on you, because you've been chosen.
we used to, LaDonna, talk about the survivor's praise. This is a different sound this year. This is not the survivor's praise anymore. This is called the chosen praise. I'm just glad I'm chosen. Somebody lift your hands in your heart and give God a chosen praise. Royal priesthood. Royal priesthood. Chosen. Chosen generation. I'm a chosen generation. I'm a chosen generation. I'm the one. I'm the one. I'm the one. We don't need another Martin Luther King. You need me. You need me. Tell somebody I'm the one. I'm the one. I'm the next. I'm the now. I'm the next. I'm the now. I'm the next. I'm the now. Sound the alarm. Sound the alarm on the holy mountain. I'm the one. I'm the one. I'm the one. I'm the next. I'm the now. I'm the one. I'm the next. I'm the now. 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 Matter of fact, make this declaration with me. Say, after I come through this training. Say it. After I come through this training, I'm going to be ready. Say it again. When I come through this, I'm going to be ready. Why? Because I'm the next. Look at, introduce yourself to some people and say, I'm the now, I'm the next. I'm the next story. I'm the next story. I'm the next headline. I'm the next senator. I'm the next principal. I'm the next president. I'm the next pastor. I'm the next mother. I'm the next father. I'm the next.